First, Armenia's leaders start playing hardball with Turkey and Azerbaijan and not become overly accommodating to the demands of foreign powers. Second, Armenia should stick to its long avowed position of no preconditions for opening the border and establishing diplomatic relations with Turkey. Third, Armenia should outright reject the Turkish ploy of forming a historical commission to study the Armenian genocide. Four, rather than allowing a rift among Armenians, Armenia's government should cleverly exploit and deepen the recently exhibited differences between Azerbaijan and Turkey on their approaches to the border opening issue. Finally, President Sarkisyan repeated this week his earlier assertion that he would not go to Turkey on October 14 to attend the Armenia-Turkey World Cup qualifying soccer match unless Turkey opens the border by then or is on the verge of doing so. I believe that President Sarkisyan should set October 14 as a firm and final deadline for Turkey to open the border. If Turkey does not do so by that date, President Sarkisyan should break off the negotiations and refuse to go to Turkey. Saying that he would go to Turkey if the border is on the verge of opening is a mistake and a trap that President Sarkisyan should avoid. Thank you.
Time for questions, but before we go to the questions, would you mind saying a few words about how do you see Armenia-Diaspora relations, or is there anything that you want to add on that? Because we have that on the moment as well, so if you could say a few words.
Well, I was hoping they would ask me about that.
Okay.
I made a reference to it in the rift that was created.
Yes.
Let me just add to what I said in my remarks, that often when we talk about this rift, we sort of misrepresent the reality and the intensity of the rift. It is not simply neither between just the ARF and the government, nor between the diaspora and Armenia. This is not a diaspora versus Armenia issue. I have a very harsh view about this. My view is that this is a rift between Armenians in the diaspora and Armenians in Armenia versus the Armenian government. So even Armenians in Armenia are unhappy with the position taken by the Armenian government on the negotiations with Turkey. Of course, it was off of my topic to a degree, that's why I didn't go into great detail, but the last couple of weeks there's been major controversy on the negotiations on Artsakh, and that has added to the unhappiness of Armenians worldwide once again, to the way the negotiations with the Minsk group and with Aliyev has been handled. Of course, to be fair to the leadership, most of the conditions and the terms of negotiations are confidential, are secret, so no one really knows what's going on and what they're cooking behind closed doors, so we can't really go too far in condemning anybody. But eventually it will come out, either publicly or will be leaked out, most probably by Turks, and then we will face, I'm afraid that we'll face a major scandal, and I hope it won't be too late to go back and redo the negotiation, because once you agree on something, even if it's on principle, then you're sort of committed to that direction, and that's the dilemma that Armenia's leaders have, because already this negotiation has been going on for many years, and the Minsk group co-chairmen have been chipping at the Armenia's objections for many years, so little by little they've gotten Armenia to a corner where it's difficult for the current leadership in Armenia to start from scratch the negotiations. And basically they're in a corner where they just have no choice but to continue, and the only thing left to them is not to go back from scratch, but can they pick up from where it was left off by the previous president or previous two presidents, and see if they can do something that's more in line with Armenia's interest at this late stage. It's not, I don't want to give the wrong impression that it's too late. It's not too late. Nothing has been signed. There's only principles on a piece of paper. So there is room for intelligent political approaches, assuming that the leadership is able to make the right decision on these issues. So that has, to answer Spanosian's question, both the Turkish-Armenian negotiations and the Artsakh negotiations have quite a bit exacerbated the not only diaspora-Armenia relations, but Armenians in general versus the government, and putting a government that's already weak to begin with in even a more dire situation vis-a-vis the Armenian population worldwide. I will stop here and entertain your questions.